At exactly 3:02 a.m., I saw a pale hand rise from behind one of the broken tombstones, and it waved at me, not to scare me away, but to call me closer. I should have run. I should have screamed. Instead, I stepped forward. My name is Ethan Rivers, 24, and that night I had no intention of entering the old Willow Creek graveyard. But the moment I heard that soft knocking on the iron gate, knock, 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 as if someone inside was trying to get out, I felt something pull me in. The wind was sharp and cold, carrying a smell like wet soil and old flowers rotting in the dark. My breath came out in shaky clouds. The rusted chains around the gate rattled, even though the wind had stopped. Probably an animal, I whispered to myself. But even I didn't believe it. I pushed the gate. It groaned open, like it hadn't been touched in decades. And I walked inside. The graveyard felt wrong the moment I stepped in. It wasn't just quiet. It was the kind of silence that feels aware. Rows of leaning tombstones stretched into the fog. The tall dead trees made thin silhouettes against the moonlight. Every crunch of gravel under my shoes echoed too loudly, like someone was listening to each step. Somewhere to my right, I heard a soft dragging noise, like something pulling itself along the ground. I froze. My heart hammered so hard, I could hear it in my ears. Just a raccoon, I lied to myself. But raccoons don't whisper, because right after the dragging sound, a voice breathed out from the fog. Ethan. I spun around so fast I almost fell. No one was there. A shadow darted between two tall tombstones, quick, low, and absolutely human-shaped. Who's there? My voice cracked like a teenager's. No answer, just the wind brushing through dry grass that shouldn't have been moving. I took out my phone and turned on the flashlight. The beam flickered, fought, then barely stayed on. Something hissed behind me. I whipped around. Nothing. A stone statue of an angel suddenly tipped forward and slammed face first into the dirt right beside me. I jumped back, nearly tripping over a grave marker. My hands were shaking so violently I almost dropped my phone. The air had changed, colder, heavier, like someone invisible had just stepped behind me. I didn't look back. I couldn't. Instead, I moved deeper into the graveyard, toward the oldest section. The fog thickened into swirling white tendrils around my legs. It seemed to curl with purpose, like fingers trying to wrap around my ankles. Ahead of me, through the fog, a figure appeared. Tall, thin, motionless. I swallowed hard and raised my flashlight. The figure vanished instantly, like the fog ate it. I found myself standing in front of the oldest tombstone in the cemetery. A tall, cracked stone with faded inscriptions and a deep gouge running down its side. I reached out and brushed off the moss, and instantly felt a freezing shock run down my arm. The letters carved into the stone rearranged in front of my eyes. They shifted, and suddenly I wasn't reading a name anymore. I was reading a message. Don't turn around. My breath stopped. Every instinct screamed at me to look, but the message felt alive. I closed my eyes, held my breath, and slowly, painfully slowly, turned around. At first, I didn't see anything. Then the fog parted. Just a few feet away stood a figure, a woman, or something that used to be one. Her face was pale as moonlight, stretched too long. Her eyes, hollow sockets filled with a dim, sickly glow. Her dress fluttered in a wind that wasn't blowing, and she was standing perfectly still, except for her fingers. They twitched, slowly, deliberately, as if remembering how to move. My throat tightened. My voice barely worked. "What do you want?" She tilted her head with a crack like snapping dead branches. Her mouth opened very, very slowly, but no sound came out, just a long, cold breath that drifted toward me like smoke. My flashlight died. Darkness swallowed everything. In the pitch black, her whisper slithered into my ear. "Come closer." I stumbled backward, my foot hitting a broken stone. I fell hard, my palm scraping across cold gravel. I scrambled to find my phone, my heart racing, breath ragged. Light, light, please. The phone flickered back on for half a second, enough for me to see her face right above mine, eyes glowing, mouth stretched into a crooked smile, skin twitching like something was moving underneath it. The light died again. I screamed. The ground beneath me vibrated. Not violently, just enough to feel unnatural, like the earth itself was humming. Graves around me seemed to shift, as if sinking or rising. The fog pulsed in and out like breath. My vision blurred. For a second, I thought I saw dozens of hands reaching out from the soil. But when I blinked, they were gone. I was hallucinating, or losing my mind. Maybe both. I crawled backward toward the iron fence, desperate just to reach something solid. But then, from every direction, pairs of glowing eyes appeared in the fog. Not bright, soft, but too many. Dozens, watching me, silent. Their bodies were invisible, only the eyes. Then, all at once, they blinked out, except one. Hers, a deep cracking sound echoed behind me. Like stone splitting, I looked over my shoulder. A grave just a few feet away was opening. The earth was sinking, dirt shifting. A hand, pale, thin, claw-like, slowly emerged from the soil. My entire body turned cold. I forced myself up and ran, stumbling over graves, slipping on wet leaves, gasping for breath. Her voice followed me. "You came when I called." I reached the fence, but the gate I came through was closed. Wrapped in chains, I pulled, heaved, kicked. It didn't budge. Behind me, footsteps scraped across the ground. Slow, uneven, getting closer. I turned. She was gliding toward me, not walking. Her feet didn't touch the ground, her fingers stretched outward, too long, bending impossibly. Gravel around her lifted into the air as she passed. Leaves floated up. The fog curled around her like it was part of her body. She whispered one last time, "Look at my grave." I didn't want to, but my eyes were dragged, forced by something I couldn't fight. And there it was. The tombstone I had touched earlier, the one that warned me. Now the message had changed again. "You shouldn't have come." My knees gave out. I dropped to the ground, her face lowered close to mine, those empty, glowing eyes drilling into my skull. I could feel her cold breath filling my lungs. I choked, gasped, clawed at my throat. For a moment, I thought she was going to pull my soul out through my chest. Suddenly, a loud metallic clang echoed across the graveyard. The gate swung open on its own. Something shoved me from behind, violently, throwing me out onto the gravel path outside. I rolled, coughing, gasping, clawing at the ground. When I looked up, she stood at the gate, her hand grasping the bars, not stepping out, just watching me. As the gate slowly closed by itself, her final whisper drifted to my ears. "Next time, you won't leave." And the chains wrapped themselves around the gate again. By morning, there were no footprints, no open graves, nothing disturbed, except my mind. I still wake up at 3 a.m. every night, because that's when I hear her knocking on my window. If you enjoyed this terrifying story, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to Haunted Shadows, and share this video with fellow horror lovers so you never miss a scare. And tell us in the comments, what would you do if this happened to you